Why apply dry when wetter is better? Most people apply hair color to dirty, dry hair only because the directions haven't changed since 1932, when commercial hair color was first introduced. Back then, shampoos were harsh. Most people only shampooed their hair once a week, and shampooing your hair twice in the same day would have really seemed bizarre. But let's fast forward to today, when shampoos are much more mild, and most people shampoo their hair every day. So shampooing your hair twice in the same day doesn't seem so unusual. Unfortunately, old habits die hard, and change is always difficult. Most directions still specify applying hair color to dirty, dry hair. Some manufacturers have updated their directions to include a light shampoo prior to the hair color application. To see why that's a better approach, we need to use real science.
Real science.
Water molecules are attracted to each other due to hydrogen bonding. A hydrogen bond forms between a hydrogen atom on one water molecule and the oxygen atom on another water molecule. Hydrogen bonding is essential not only to hair color, but to all beauty products and services. Let's take a look at why hydrogen bonding is so important. When I take this dry sponge and press it against this panel, it just falls off. But when I wet the same sponge and press it against the panel, it sticks. That's due to the attraction of hydrogen bonding. I think everybody knows that a damp sponge absorbs a spill better and more quickly than a dry sponge. This sponge is dry. I'm going to wet this sponge. Let's dip both of these sponges into the grape juice and see what happens. The sponge on your left is wet, and it's drawing more grape juice into the sponge. Hair color must penetrate into the hair, but dry hair resists penetration, repels the hair color. Damp hair draws the color into the hair for more complete saturation. That's due to hydrogen bonding. Both of these hair colors are labeled as dark brown, and yet the color that's in this bottle and the color that's in this tube are not dark brown. Let's pour this hair color into this glass. That hair color is not brown at all. Now let's empty this tube of hair color into this glass. Well, that's not brown either. Neither one of these hair colors in the bottle is the final color. So I think we've just seen that the color in the bottle or tube of hair color is not the final color. The developer contains peroxide that will develop the final color during processing. That's why they call it developer. So let's add developer to each of these colors. And let's add the developer to this tube hair color. And now I'm going to mix this color up. And we'll mix the other color up. Neither one of them is dark brown. But let's come back in 30 minutes and see what the color looks like. I added the developer to each of these hair colors 30 minutes ago. And you can see that they're starting to develop into their dark brown color. I also put each of the colors onto this paper towel 30 minutes ago. And you can see that they've fully formed the final dyes.
Hair color contains small precursors that are almost colorless. The precursors develop into the large dyes that produce the final color during processing. It's important that the small precursors penetrate into the hair before they develop into the large dyes in the final color. Hair color that penetrates into the hair develops the final color inside the hair. That locks the large dyes inside the hair, which results in better gray coverage with less color fade. Hair color that does not penetrate into the hair develops the final color on the surface of the hair, which results in less gray coverage and more color fade.
In order for a chemical reaction to take place, the reactants must contact one another. Thin fluids are very liquid, and that means reactants and chemicals move around freely. Thick liquids are not as fluid, and that slows down the movement of the reactants. This carafe contains a thick liquid. When I add marbles to this thick liquid, they're almost remaining stationary. There's very little movement at all. Dry hair absorbs water from the hair color. That dries out the hair color and makes it thicker and makes it less fluid. The reactants in dry hair color don't move around very much. Very little movement out of these marbles. Less motion means less contact. That means slower processing. This carafe contains a thin liquid. When I add marbles to this carafe, they drop to the bottom very quickly. Damp hair is already wet, so it doesn't dry out the hair color. Wet hair color is more fluid, so the reactants move around more. More motion means more contact. That means more processing and faster processing. A light shampoo prior to the hair color also removes dirt and oil and any buildup that may have come on the hair from conditioners, setting lotions, and hairsprays. Clean hair accepts color better than dirty hair. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and that it may have helped you in some way. If you liked my video, please share it with your friends, and say so on Facebook and YouTube. And don't forget to check out my webpage for other videos and some articles that you'll probably find interesting. And I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any questions or a suggestion for a topic for my next video, I'd love to make my next video just for you. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget, seeing is believing.